My Educational Psychology Scrapbook. During winter 2012, I learned many concepts and ideas from my Education 391 class. Here I have documented my most fond memories and most helpful tips for educational psychology in music education. Development principles. What is development, and why should teachers be aware of it? Development is the change of physical and mental structures over time, such as physical, cognitive, and social development. I believe music teachers should be very aware of this because they can provide developmentally appropriate instruction for various students. It is common for a music teacher to teach all the students in a K-8 school or even a campus like a K through high school program. In development principles, this may mean introducing simpler skills before advanced skills. For example, learning how to read music notation before teaching a student how to play an instrument. Developmental milestones are relatively predictable, but it also means awareness that not all students develop in the same way and at the same rate. All of your students may not be able to match pitch at the same time, and that's okay. Learning theories. What is learning? Learning is the long-term change in mental representations or associations as a result of experience. Some of the learning theories I have learned about are Piaget's theory of cognitive development and Vygotsky's theory of cognitive development as well, just to name a few. The one that I felt most useful for in music education is Piaget's theory. Piaget came up with a theory about the stages of development and how children move through those stages. There are 4 stages of cognitive development: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. I found this very useful because music is such an abstract subject. It is important to understand a child's viewpoint with concrete objects as well as abstract ideas. Here's an example of Piaget's theory in a music classroom for the sensory motor stage. Here, the babies and toddlers are interacting with the environment through music. Motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is a process that engages, directs, and sustains behavior. Engage, invest, directs, towards what goal? Sustains, persists. Motivation is a large part of music. Students come together from different backgrounds, have different ideals and experiences, and with all that still create music together. The music teacher must get an idea of the level of competency of the class and at the same time make all students feel wanted and appreciated in this experience. Music classes encounter students that have large ranges and different levels of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is a learner's self-constructed judgment about his or her ability to execute certain behaviors or reach certain goals. Thus, it affects the learner's expectations for future performance. So in music, self-efficacy may sound like this. I'm not good enough to sing in choir because all of my friends say I'm tone deaf. Or, I have played in various community orchestras and was first chair at my last school, so I just know I will be the best violinist here at my new school. In general, it is a teacher's job to help increase self-efficacy in their students. Learners are more likely to initiate and persist in tasks and activities for which they have high self-efficacy. Some ways that music teachers can promote and sustain self-efficacy is encouraging the students, talking about what the student does well in the class on an individual basis, and draw on students' funds of knowledge so that they feel familiar with the topic at hand. That was a lot better. I'm very proud of you all, but I know we can do better. Assessment. What is assessment? Assessment is the process of observing a sample of students' behavior and drawing inferences about the students' knowledge and abilities. It is so important to evaluate students because it helps guide students' learning and provides feedback. It motivates students to study and learn, and it also assesses the teacher's own quality of teaching. Assessment is so much more important to music classes because it is assumed by many that music education is not assessment worthy or even able to be assessed. Wrong. Music education has so many skills that must be mastered and is measurable, both abstract and concrete concepts. Some examples of assessment in music education may be a written theory test where it is based off of concrete music concepts. For example, meter, note names, chord progressions, or music history. An assessment also could be a playing test where the teacher has a rubric or scale that is measurable for different levels of competency. Instruction. Instruction encompasses many of the first topics that I covered earlier in this video, like assessment and motivation. These ideas influence teachers' instructional methods. What helps students learn and remember? How can I motivate my students? Will this assessment work for this type of lesson? Planning for instruction is important so that the teacher is professional and knows the objective of the content. The way I plan for instruction in music classes is using the backwards design. I believe in a way that all teachers use this tool, but just are not aware of it. Backward design begins with the end. What are desired results at the end of this instruction? For example, students will sing the first 8 measures of the song in rhythm with pitches but not text. Keeping in mind standards. For example, standard 1, singing and playing. And have specific objectives. What is acceptable evidence of learning? For example, singing as a class, having certain people sing different parts. How will teachers teach and assess? Group setting, call and response, with individuals or as a group. And today, we're going to actually do the pitches and learn the pitches of the song. So, classroom management. Classroom management in a music class is key for success. It will make or break the relationship teachers have with their students. So what are some key goals for effective classroom management? Prevention, sustainability, and reaction. Prevention deals with the setting of the classroom, more learning, less problems. Sustainability, managing the class, equal work from the teacher as well as the students. Reaction, dealing with behavior and disruptions. So how can music teachers establish effective classroom management at the beginning of the school year? Arrangement of the class. Be sure to keep your little ones close. And if you're teaching choir, get from behind the podium. Go to your students on the risers. Establish positive relationships. Encourage students. Create a safe place. Set high expectations. Set limits of misbehavior and attendance. Communicate with parents. Invite them into your classroom. Have them help out with concerts and contact them for the good and the bad. These concepts and ideas are ones that I keep close to my heart. I believe they are the foundation of teaching. Because I am now knowledgeable of these 6 critical topics, I can be a successful teacher and instill success in my students as well.